Welcome. This is a calm story. This evening, we explore one of the mysteries of our world. You can listen with curiosity, or you can simply relax. There is nothing you need to do. Just listen, and let the story begin. Long ago, in the hills and valleys of ancient Greece, there lived a hero named Heracles, known to many as Hercules. Legends say that he began a great tradition, one that would echo through the centuries: the first Olympic Games. These games were not just about strength or speed, but about honor, courage, and the connection between humans and the gods. They were a celebration of both human effort and divine watchfulness. Imagine the warm sun on your skin, the soft rustle of olive trees in a gentle breeze, and the distant sound of a trumpet signaling the beginning of something extraordinary. Picture the valley stretching out before you, quiet except for the soft footfalls of people gathering, their anticipation blending with the scent of wild herbs and the faint aroma of olive groves. These games began as myth, a story whispered through generations, yet they became real, shaping history and inspiring wonder in every heart that heard of them. Another story tells of Pelops, a young prince who raced in a chariot against King Oenomaus to win the hand of the princess Hippodamia. The earth shook beneath the hooves of the horses, and the crowd held its breath with every turn. The winds carried dust and the scent of summer grass, and the cheers of the onlookers seemed to echo across the hills. From this legendary race, the games took shape. They were inspired by daring, skill, and the thrill of challenge. Every footstep, every throw of the discus, every leap and sprint was a way to honor the gods and celebrate human excellence. Imagine walking along the track, feeling the warm stones under your feet, and watching the young prince drive with steady focus, his chariot glinting in the sunlight, carrying the promise of a tradition that would endure for centuries. The games were held in a place called Olympia, a sacred sanctuary, not an ordinary town. Here, temples and statues rose among ancient olive trees, and the air itself seemed alive with reverence. The temple of Zeus towered over the grounds, a place of awe and solemnity, where flickering fires illuminated carved stone, and shadows danced across the altars. Every path through the altus, the sacred grove, told a story. Statues of gods, heroes, and celebrated athletes stood like silent guardians, their stone eyes watching over the valley. Imagine the quiet, almost sacred hush as you wander beneath these trees, the soft crunch of earth underfoot, the whisper of leaves in the breeze, feeling that this was a place where every step connected you to something greater, something eternal. The first recorded Olympic Games took place in the year 776 BCE. It began with a single race, called the Stadion, a short sprint that tested speed, courage, and determination. The winner of this first race was Coroebus of Elis, a name that would be remembered for generations. Imagine the quiet anticipation of the spectators, the tension hanging in the warm summer air, the soft rustle of tunics and sandals against the earth. The runner stood at the starting line, muscles tense, eyes focused, taking a deep breath as the signal approached. Then, with a sudden push forward, he ran, the sound of his feet striking the packed earth echoing across the stadium. This was the beginning of something enduring, a celebration of human potential and achievement, witnessed by both gods and mortals alike. Every Olympic festival was a way to honor Zeus, the king of the Greek gods. Athletes, judges, and spectators alike understood that this was more than just sport. It was sacred. Olive branches were carefully cut from a special tree, chosen for its divine significance, to crown the victors. Offerings, small and grand, were placed at the foot of the altar, and fires flickered in devotion and reverence. Imagine the soft glow of flames against the stone. The scent of burning incense and olive were drifting on the warm breeze, the quiet hum of people moving respectfully through the grove. Every act, from the smallest gesture to the mightiest feat of strength, was meant to honor the gods. In these moments, victory was not only personal, but sacred, a bridge between the human and the divine, a quiet promise whispered in the ears of history. Within Olympia lay the Altus, a sacred grove filled with ancient olive trees and winding paths. Statues of gods and heroes rose among the trees, as if they were alive, silently watching over the athletes and pilgrims. The grove was a place of reflection, calm, and quiet reverence, where visitors could feel the presence of something larger than themselves. Imagine walking slowly along the soft paths, hearing only the faint rustle of leaves, feeling the warm sunlight filtering through the branches, and noticing how each stone and statue carries a story of honor, triumph, or devotion. Here, even the smallest movement feels significant, as if every breath and every step is part of a larger rhythm, connecting you to centuries of human experience and devotion. Before stepping into the arena, athletes trained for months, sometimes even years. Their lives were filled with discipline, care, and focus. They ate carefully, balancing strength and stamina with foods like figs, cheese, and bread. Trainers, called gymnasts, guided their every movement, helping them prepare both body and mind for the challenges ahead. Imagine an athlete stretching in the gentle morning light, the wind soft on their skin, their muscles moving slowly, deliberately. Every breath is measured, every motion precise, as they prepare for the moment when skill, strength, and courage will be tested. In this quiet preparation, there is anticipation, but also a deep, calm focus, a rhythm like the gentle flow of a river or the sway of olive branches in the breeze. Before the competitions began, every athlete swore a sacred oath, standing before the great statue of Zeus. They promised to compete fairly, to honor the rules, and to respect the spirit of the games. Imagine the stillness of the moment, the soft whispers of spectators, the sunlight catching the folds of tunics and the glint of bronze statues. The oath was more than words. It was a commitment to something eternal. The athletes breathed deeply, feeling the weight of history and expectation, a quiet understanding that their actions, whether small or great, were being witnessed by the gods. It was a moment of pause, reflection, and respect, a reminder that competition is not only about winning, but about honor, integrity, and connection to all who came before. Before the festival began, a sacred truce was declared across the Greek world. For these days, wars and conflicts paused, so that athletes, spectators, and families could travel safely to Olympia. Imagine walking along a dusty road under the late summer sun, the sound of distant flutes and bells floating through the air, and knowing that for these days, peace reigns. The truce reminded everyone that the games were more than competition. They were a celebration of unity, shared human spirit, and devotion to the gods. Travelers moved calmly along the hills and valleys, their footsteps soft against the earth, their hearts quiet with anticipation. Even the journey became part of the experience, a slow, deliberate movement toward celebration, ritual, and wonder. The festival opened with a grand procession. Athletes, judges, and officials moved together through the sacred grounds, each step deliberate and measured. Trumpets sounded across the valley, calling attention to the beginning of the games, while spectators watched in quiet awe. Imagine the gentle rhythm of feet on the soft earth, the folds of robes moving with each step, the warm sunlight casting long shadows across the olive trees. The air carries a faint scent of incense and freshly turned soil, and the murmurs of anticipation blend with the soft music of distant flutes. This procession marked the start of something timeless, a ceremony that connected past and present, humans and gods, effort and honor, in a slow, harmonious rhythm. The very first race in the Olympic Games was a short sprint called the Stadion. It was only about 192 meters long, but every step carried weight far beyond the distance. Imagine the packed earth beneath the runners' feet, warm from the sun, firm but soft enough to give just a little with every step. The spectators were quiet, their breaths held in anticipation, their eyes following the runners' every movement. The athletes themselves were focused, standing at the starting line, their muscles tense and ready, hearts beating slowly but steadily. When the judge gave the signal, the runners sprang forward. Their feet struck the ground in a rhythmic drumbeat that seemed to echo across the valley. Dust rose in gentle clouds around their ankles as they ran, the sun glinting off sweat on their skin. Though the race was short, it was monumental, the beginning of a tradition that would last for centuries, a quiet but profound celebration of human courage, effort, and the beauty of movement. Victory in the ancient Olympic Games was not measured by gold or silver, but by a simple, sacred olive wreath. These wreaths came from a special wild olive tree, believed to have divine significance. Imagine the soft leaves, green and fragrant, being carefully cut and shaped into a circle to place gently on the victor's head. The athletes stood tall, breathing slowly, feeling the weight of not only their own effort, but of the honor they carried for their city-state. Around them, the hush of the crowd seemed almost holy, broken only by quiet murmurs of admiration. Nearby, the statues of gods and heroes looked on, their carved faces serene and eternal, as if witnessing the moment themselves. The olive wreath was a quiet symbol, reminding everyone that recognition and honor could be profound even without riches. It was a celebration of dedication, strength, and courage, a silent, gentle applause from history itself. At the center of Olympia stood the temple of Zeus, grand and majestic, a place of awe and reverence. Imagine towering columns stretching toward the sky, carved friezes telling stories of gods and heroes, sunlight spilling through the open spaces and highlighting every curve of the stone. Torches flickered along the walls, casting dancing shadows on the statues and altars. The scent of burning incense and olive wood drifted gently through the warm air, mingling with the earthy aroma of the grove surrounding the temple. Pilgrims and athletes walked slowly along the marble floors, voices hushed, feeling the sacred presence in every corner. The temple was a reminder that the games were not just competitions, but part of something greater, a connection between mortals and the divine. Standing there, one could almost hear the whispers of generations past, feel the quiet approval of Zeus himself, and sense the centuries of devotion that made Olympia a place apart from ordinary life. Within Olympia lay the altus, a sacred grove of olive trees, statues, and quiet paths. Imagine the soft, dappled sunlight filtering through centuries-old leaves, the gentle rustle of branches swaying in a warm breeze. Stone statues of gods, heroes, and famous athletes stood silently among the trees, their faces carved with serenity and strength. Pilgrims and competitors walked slowly along the winding paths, feeling the soft earth beneath their feet, the warmth of the sun, and the whisper of history all around them. This grove was more than decoration. It was a living, breathing space of reflection and reverence. Every step seemed to carry one closer to the past, to the stories of those who came before, to the quiet understanding that the games were a sacred ritual, a slow, measured dance of human effort and divine observation. Here, time seemed to pause, letting every visitor feel connected to the eternal rhythms of Olympia. Before stepping onto the track, athletes trained for months, sometimes even years, their lives devoted to the pursuit of excellence. Imagine the early morning light spilling over the valley, illuminating figures stretching and moving slowly in harmony with the earth. Trainers, called gymnasts, guided every step, watching posture, balance, and breathing. Athletes ate carefully, nourishing themselves with figs, cheese, and bread, sometimes meat, to build strength and stamina. Every movement, from the smallest warm-up to the long hours of running or lifting, was deliberate, measured, and calm. Imagine the slow rhythm of footsteps on soft earth, the rustle of tunics in the breeze, and the quiet focus on the faces of those preparing. Their preparation was as much mental as physical, a meditation of effort and patience, a slow, deliberate breathing in harmony with the valley, the sun, and the sacred spirit of the games. Before the competitions began, each athlete swore a solemn oath to Zeus, pledging fairness, honesty, and respect for the spirit of the games. Picture the quiet temple, sunlight glinting off stone statues, the soft murmur of pilgrims moving slowly along the paths. The athletes' voices were steady as they spoke their promise, each word carrying weight beyond measure, connecting them to centuries of tradition and devotion. They knew that their actions would be witnessed not only by the judges and spectators, but by the gods themselves. Imagine the stillness of the moment, the gentle warmth of the sun on skin, the distant calls of birds, the whisper of olive leaves in the breeze. This oath was more than words. It was a quiet bridge between human effort and divine presence, a calm, reflective beginning for every competitor. Before the festival began, a sacred truce was declared across the Greek world. For these days, conflicts paused, and travelers moved freely to Olympia. Picture the soft paths along dusty roads, the slow rhythm of footsteps carrying families, athletes, and pilgrims to the sacred grounds. Imagine the wind brushing gently across hills and olive groves, the distant murmur of rivers, and the anticipation building with each step. The truce reminded everyone that the games were not only a celebration of physical skill, but of unity, peace, and shared human spirit. Even the journey became part of the experience, a slow, meditative walk towards ceremony, community, and quiet reverence, where each footstep was part of a larger rhythm, both calming and sacred. The games began with a grand, measured procession. Athletes, judges, and officials walked slowly through the sacred grounds, each step deliberate, almost ceremonial. Trumpets sounded softly, calling attention to the beginning of the festival, while spectators watched in quiet awe. Imagine the soft swish of tunics, the gentle shuffle of sandals on stone and earth, and sunlight warming the scene as long shadows stretched across the valley. The air carried the scent of olive trees and incense, and the murmurs of the crowd blended with the faint music of distant flutes. This procession marked more than the start of competition. It was a slow, meditative ritual that connected the past to the present, humans to gods, effort to honor, and body to spirit. Every movement carried calmness, purpose, and a gentle sense of timelessness. The judges of the games, called the Hellenodikai, lived and trained together for months before each festival. They learned the rules carefully, studied every event, and prepared to oversee the competitions with fairness. Imagine a quiet room filled with soft light, the judges speaking in low tones, rehearsing procedures, and walking slowly through the steps of each event. Their presence was a calm and steadying force, ensuring that the games honored tradition and fairness. When the festival began, they moved slowly and deliberately among athletes and spectators, observing each movement, each stride, and each throw. Their role was both protective and sacred, a quiet reminder that the games were not only about victory, but about integrity, respect, and the honor of every participant. The stadium race was the earliest and simplest of all events, but it held immense importance. Imagine a straight, packed track, warm under the sun, lined by olive trees and statues of heroes. Athletes stood at the starting line, silent and focused, muscles coiled with readiness. When the signal came, they ran, feet striking the earth rhythmically, dust rising gently into the warm air. The crowd watched quietly, sensing that each step was more than a race. It was history in motion, a meditation of strength, speed, and determination. Even though the distance was short, the stadium seemed vast, and each runner moved with the steady heartbeat of the valley itself, connecting effort, honor, and human potential in a single, graceful motion. Wrestling was one of the earliest and most respected events in Olympia. Unlike modern sports, matches had no time limits. Imagine two athletes facing each other, muscles tense, feet shifting lightly on the warm earth. The crowd holds its breath, the sun casting long shadows over the arena. Every movement is careful, deliberate. A push, a twist, a gentle yet powerful grip. Dust rises softly with every shift of weight, and the sound of shallow breaths blends with the distant rustle of olive trees. Victory comes only when one competitor is unable to continue. The match is as much about skill and patience as strength. Here, each gesture is measured, each step purposeful, and the silence of respect around the stadium amplifies the intensity of the moment, while still carrying a gentle, almost meditative rhythm. The pancration was considered the most extreme event of the games, a fierce combination of boxing and wrestling. Almost anything was allowed, except biting or eye gouging. Imagine two athletes circling each other under the bright sun, muscles flexing, movements flowing and unpredictable. The air carries the scent of sun-warmed earth and the faint fragrance of nearby olive groves. Judges move carefully among the competitors, ready to intervene if needed. Each punch, each hold, each pivot is measured, though it looks wild to the untrained eye. The crowd watches silently, eyes wide, as strategy and strength unfold. Despite its intensity, there is a rhythm to the pancration, a slow and deliberate dance of skill, patience, and courage, echoing the timeless pulse of the games themselves. The pentathlon was a combination of 5 events: long jump, discus, javelin, running, and wrestling. Each challenge tested a different aspect of strength, skill, and endurance. Imagine an athlete moving slowly between events, pausing to stretch, to breathe, to focus. The discus spins through the air, glinting in the sun, landing softly on the packed earth. The javelin sails with a sharp whistle, cutting through the warm summer air. Footsteps pound rhythmically on the track, dust swirling lightly around each stride. Wrestling requires patience and balance, a careful push and pull. Together, these events formed a complete measure of human ability, a slow, meditative celebration of harmony between body, mind, and spirit. Not all athletes were grown men. Boys had their own events, learning the ways of sport and discipline from a young age. Imagine a small track, lined with olive trees, the sun warm on young skin. Boys run, jump, and wrestle carefully, each movement guided by their teachers, their small hands gripping the earth, feet lightly pounding the soft soil. Their laughter is gentle, mingling with the quiet rustle of leaves. Though these events were less fierce than adult competitions, they were filled with focus and care, preparing the young for the larger games to come. Every step, every throw, every push is part of a rhythm of learning, practice, and quiet anticipation of future triumphs. Chariot racing was one of the most dramatic and thrilling events at Olympia, combining speed, skill, and danger. Imagine the horses, sleek and powerful, their hooves striking the packed earth in a steady, pounding rhythm, kicking up soft clouds of dust that drift lazily through the sunlit air. The drivers lean forward, reins held tightly, muscles taut and ready, guiding their teams around sharp turns and long straights. Crashes were common, yet each charioteer moved with careful calculation, balancing courage and strategy. The crowd, though large, watched mostly in quiet awe, sensing the tension in the air. Each race is a meditation in motion, a slow unfolding of skill and instinct, where every turn, every gallop, and every controlled movement becomes a rhythmic dance under the warm, golden sunlight of Olympia. The discus was a simple object, yet it required grace, precision, and timing. Imagine holding it in your hands, feeling the smoothness of stone or bronze, the gentle weight against your palm, and the warmth of the sun on your skin. The athlete spins slowly, building momentum, muscles coiling and releasing in a flowing rhythm. When released, the discus arcs through the bright summer sky, glinting for a brief moment before landing softly on the packed earth, sending up a small puff of dust. The spectators follow its path with quiet, measured attention. There is a certain calm beauty to this act, a harmonious connection between strength, focus, and the surrounding valley, where each throw becomes both a test and a quiet celebration of human skill. Javelin throwing required balance, focus, and a deep sense of rhythm. Athletes grip the slender spear with a leather strap called an ankyle, feeling its weight and tension. Imagine the soft earth underfoot, the warm sun on your back, and a gentle breeze moving through the olive trees. Each throw begins with a slow, deliberate run, a careful placement of feet, a deep inhale of summer air. With a sudden, flowing motion, the javelin is released, slicing silently through the warm sky before landing lightly on the earth, sending up a small puff of dust. Every throw is a meditation, a dialogue between body, mind, and the environment, a quiet dance of patience, precision, and skill that stretches beyond mere competition into a reflection of harmony and calm. Boxing in the ancient games was an intense but controlled event, a balance between power and careful strategy. Fighters wore leather straps on their hands, protecting them while allowing for movement. Imagine two athletes circling slowly, muscles flexing, eyes locked, feet shifting lightly on the warm earth. Each punch is deliberate, calculated, a conversation of strength and patience. Judges observe closely, stepping in only when necessary, ensuring fairness. The crowd remains mostly quiet, watching the rhythm unfold. The fight is slow, deliberate, almost meditative, a dance of endurance, timing, and awareness. Every motion flows into the next, a quiet celebration of the human body's capability, patience, and resilience beneath the summer sun. The stadium race may have been short, but every moment was filled with intensity and focus. Imagine the straight, packed track, warmed by the sun, flanked by olive trees and statues of heroes. Athletes stand at the starting line, muscles coiled, breath measured, eyes fixed ahead. At the signal, they surge forward, feet striking the earth in a steady, rhythmic pattern. Dust swirls lightly with each step, the sunlight glinting off their skin, the spectators holding quiet anticipation. Every stride, every moment of acceleration, carries significance. Though brief, the stadium race embodies the beauty of movement, determination, and focus, a meditation in motion that connects the runner to the land, the past, and the spirit of the games themselves. The Hellenodikai, or judges, were the quiet, steady guardians of the games. They trained for months beforehand, learning rules and preparing to ensure fairness in every event. Imagine them walking slowly along the track, observing athletes with calm attentiveness, hands lightly resting on rods for guidance. Their presence stabilizes the environment, creating a rhythm of order and trust in the stadium. Athletes move with confidence under their watchful eyes, and the crowd senses the quiet authority they carry. Every step the judges take is deliberate, every gesture measured, preserving the integrity of the competition and reminding everyone that the games are as much about honor and respect as they are about victory. The Altus, the sacred grove at Olympia, was a place of serenity, reflection, and quiet power. Ancient olive trees stretched their branches skyward, sunlight filtering softly through leaves, casting gentle patterns on the ground. Statues of gods, heroes, and great athletes stood silently among the trees, their stone faces serene and timeless. Pilgrims and competitors walked slowly along the winding paths, feeling the soft earth underfoot, listening to the subtle rustle of leaves in the breeze. Each step is a meditation, connecting the present to centuries of devotion and effort. The grove carries a rhythm of calm and reflection, where every movement and breath feels meaningful, and time seems to slow beneath the watchful eyes of history. Athletes' preparation was as much about mental focus as physical strength. Imagine early mornings bathed in soft light, the quiet stretching of muscles, deep, steady breaths filling the air. Trainers guide each movement, hands lightly adjusting posture, observing every shift in weight. Meals are simple yet nourishing. Figs, bread, cheese, and occasional meat, fueling the body for long hours of exercise. Every action is slow, deliberate, and intentional, a calm meditation in motion. The rhythm of preparation mirrors the rhythm of the games themselves, a slow, steady alignment of body, mind, and spirit, a quiet prelude to the moments of effort, focus, and achievement that will follow. Before any competition began, athletes approached the great statue of Zeus to swear a sacred oath. They promised fairness, honesty, and respect for the games, a quiet vow that would connect them to centuries of tradition. Picture the warm sunlight glinting on the carved stone of the temple, soft shadows stretching across the packed earth. The air is scented with olive trees and faint incense, drifting lazily in the gentle breeze. Athletes' voices rise slowly and evenly, echoing softly through the grove, each word deliberate and full of meaning. Pilgrims and spectators pause in quiet reverence, sensing the weight of the moment. This oath was more than a promise. It was a meditation, a gentle acknowledgement that every effort, every movement, and every stride would honor the gods, the history of Olympia, and the spirit of the games itself. As the echo of the final word fades, the atmosphere holds a still, sacred calm, preparing everyone for the days of competition to follow. Before the games could begin, a sacred truce, known as the Ekakeria, was declared across the Greek world. For this brief time, wars were paused, conflicts ceased, and travelers moved freely to Olympia. Imagine long, sun-baked roads stretching through rolling hills and olive groves, footsteps soft on the dust as athletes, families, and pilgrims made their way to the sacred valley. Gentle breezes carry the distant sounds of flowing rivers and birdsong. Each step is slow, purposeful, and full of anticipation. Travelers could pause to drink from quiet springs, admire the soft sway of olive branches, and reflect on the journey itself. The truce reminded everyone that the games were more than competition. They were a festival of unity, peace, and shared human spirit, a time to breathe, reflect, and move deliberately toward celebration. The opening procession was a slow, ceremonial beginning to the games. Athletes, judges, and officials moved together through the sacred grounds, robes swaying gently in the warm summer breeze. Trumpets sounded softly, calling attention to the beginning of the festival, while spectators watched quietly, their murmurs muted in respect. Olive trees swayed softly along the paths, and incense drifted through the air, mingling with the earthy aroma of the grove. Every step of the procession was intentional, deliberate, and calm, a moving meditation that connected participants to centuries of tradition. The rhythm of footsteps, the soft rustle of fabric, and the gentle sunlight combined to create a peaceful, almost hypnotic atmosphere, preparing everyone for the sacred events ahead. The judges, or Hellenodikai, played a quiet but essential role in the games. They trained for months beforehand, learning every rule and carefully preparing to maintain fairness and calm throughout the competitions. Imagine them walking slowly among the athletes, observing every movement, hands lightly resting on wooden rods, eyes attentive but calm. Their presence reassured competitors, helping them focus while preserving the integrity of the games. Spectators moved slowly through the grounds, sensing the quiet authority that maintained order and tranquility. Every gesture of the judges was measured, deliberate, and peaceful, reinforcing the sacred atmosphere of Olympia and allowing the rhythm of the games to unfold without distraction or chaos. Before each event, athletes moved through careful, deliberate warm-ups. Muscles stretched slowly, arms rotated with precision, and feet shifted lightly on the sun-warmed earth. Imagine the gentle glow of early morning sunlight spilling across the valley, illuminating bodies in slow motion as each competitor prepared their muscles and minds. Trainers observed attentively, adjusting posture, correcting stance, and ensuring that every motion was both safe and effective. The rhythm of warm-up exercises became meditative, a slow dance connecting breath, body, and spirit. The sun warmed the earth beneath them, the wind rustled the olive leaves, and the athletes' quiet focus filled the air with a sense of calm readiness, a serene anticipation for the challenges to come. The stadium race, though brief, carried intense focus and quiet significance. Athletes lined up at the starting point, feet pressing into the soft earth, muscles coiled, breath measured. The crowd held its collective hush, the warm sun casting golden light across the track, dust rising softly with every movement. At the signal, runners surged forward, each stride smooth and deliberate, each footfall creating a gentle rhythm that echoed across the stadium. Sweat glistened on sun-warmed skin, and the air carried a faint scent of dry grass and olive trees. The race, though short, became a meditation of effort, timing, and balance, a flowing expression of strength and focus, connecting each runner to the sacred space of Olympia and to the centuries of athletes who had run before them. Wrestling matches were slow, deliberate, and deeply focused. Imagine two athletes circling each other on warm, packed earth, muscles flexing and shifting with careful intention. Each grip, each twist, each subtle movement was measured and precise. The spectators watched quietly, sensing the rhythm of skill, patience, and endurance. Victory was earned only when one competitor could no longer continue, and every moment was a careful balance of strength and strategy. The sport was almost meditative, a slow and rhythmic dance between two bodies, reflecting discipline, focus, and respect for both opponent and tradition. The quiet intensity of the match, coupled with the sun-warmed earth and the gentle rustle of leaves, created an atmosphere of calm reverence for human effort. The pankration, a combination of wrestling and boxing, tested courage, skill, and endurance. Picture two athletes moving slowly, circling and pivoting with careful attention, each gesture purposeful and controlled. Dust rises softly beneath their feet, sunlight glinting on the tension of their muscles, while judges remain close, intervening only when necessary. The crowd sits quietly, their anticipation gentle and measured, sensing the deliberate rhythm of strength and strategy unfolding. Despite the intensity, the event has a flowing, meditative quality, a dance of controlled movement, awareness, and patience. Every moment echoes with the quiet pulse of Olympia, a reflection of human capability, courage, and the timeless harmony of body, mind, and spirit in motion. The long jump was a graceful test of strength, timing, and technique. Athletes ran carefully along the track, muscles coiling with each step, before launching themselves into the air. Imagine the warm earth beneath their feet, the sunlight glinting off their skin, and the faint whisper of the wind through olive trees. As the body arcs through the air, time seems to stretch, each movement deliberate and flowing. When the jumper lands, a soft puff of dust rises from the ground, and the quiet crowd watches in admiration. Every leap is more than a competition. It is a meditation on balance, timing, and human potential, a moment suspended between effort and grace. Athletes devoted long hours to building endurance, walking, running, or exercising slowly, day after day. Imagine early mornings in Olympia, the sun rising over gentle hills, and the soft rustle of leaves in the sacred grove. Each movement is measured, each step purposeful. Trainers observe quietly, offering gentle corrections, helping athletes refine their rhythm. Meals are simple, nourishing, and deliberate, fueling the body without distraction. Over time, this routine becomes almost meditative, a calm flow of preparation that strengthens both body and mind. The rhythm of repetition, the warmth of the sun, and the quiet of the grove create a peaceful, reflective atmosphere, preparing athletes for the intensity of competition. Music played a subtle but important role in the games. Soft melodies from flutes and the gentle rhythm of drums accompanied certain ceremonies and warm-ups. Imagine the faint sound of wind through the olive branches blending with the melodic tones, creating a serene soundtrack to the athlete's preparation. The music does not hurry the pace, but instead mirrors the slow, deliberate rhythm of the participants' movements. It guides the body and mind into calm focus, offering a gentle cadence that helps competitors center themselves, reminding everyone present that the games were not only about competition, but also harmony, reflection, and shared experience. At the heart of Olympia, a sacred flame burned continuously, a gentle symbol of the presence of Zeus and the eternal spirit of the games. Imagine the soft flicker of the firelight, its warm glow casting dancing shadows on the surrounding statues and columns, the golden rays slowly stretching across the sun-warmed earth. The air carries the faint scent of burning olive wood and incense, mingling with the natural aroma of dry grass and olive groves nearby. Pilgrims, athletes, and judges alike move slowly around the flame, pausing for a moment to feel its quiet energy, its calm presence grounding them amidst the excitement of the festival. The flame itself seems alive, its flicker echoing the heartbeat of Olympia, steady yet delicate, connecting every participant across time, past, present, and future. Even as competitions unfold, the flame remains constant, a silent witness to effort, courage, and devotion. Its gentle light illuminates more than just the surroundings. It illuminates the spirit of all who gather, reminding everyone that the games are not only about victory, but also about reflection, harmony, and the quiet rhythm of human effort beneath the watchful gaze of the gods. The judges, known as the Hellenodikai, watched over every event with calm, deliberate attention. Imagine them standing quietly along the track or in the arena, their eyes moving slowly, following every motion of the athletes with unwavering focus. Their robes rustle softly in the warm breeze, and their sandals brush gently against the sun-warmed earth. Each gesture they make is measured and precise, a quiet signal of order and fairness that flows through the stadium like a steady heartbeat. Athletes feel reassured under their watchful eyes, moving with calm confidence, knowing that their efforts will be respected and honored. Even the spectators sense the stability they bring, a soft, grounding rhythm that enhances the sacred atmosphere of Olympia. The judge's presence is more than authority. It is a steady, peaceful flow of observation, ensuring that the games unfold with integrity, patience, and quiet reverence, a rhythm that carries through every race, throw, and match. Victory at Olympia was celebrated with a simple, yet profoundly meaningful prize: the olive wreath, carefully woven from the leaves of sacred trees. Imagine its soft, fragrant leaves, glinting gently in the sunlight as it is lifted slowly and placed upon the victor's head. The athlete stands, chest rising and falling with steady, deep breaths, feeling the quiet weight of both honor and history resting upon them. Around the stadium, spectators remain silent in respect, sensing the sacred rhythm of the moment. The wreath is more than a prize. It is a symbol of effort, patience, and connection, a reminder that true victory lies not in wealth or glory, but in the integrity and dedication of the human spirit. The soft rustle of leaves, the warm sunlight on skin, and the calm presence of the gathered crowd create a serene harmony, turning the simple act of crowning the victor into a meditative, almost sacred ritual. Every glance, every breath, every subtle movement carries the quiet weight of centuries of tradition, echoing the enduring spirit of Olympia itself. Pilgrims traveled from all corners of Greece to visit Olympia, bringing with them a calm, reflective energy that blended gently with the sacred atmosphere of the games. Imagine long, sun-drenched roads stretching across rolling hills, the soft crunch of dust underfoot, and the gentle scent of wild herbs and olive trees drifting through the warm air. Families and travelers moved slowly, pausing at quiet springs or shaded groves to rest, drink, and reflect. Each step was purposeful, each breath measured, as though the journey itself were a ritual preparing them for the wonder they would soon witness. Pilgrims whispered quietly among themselves, sharing stories of their travels and of previous games, their voices soft and reverent, almost in harmony with the rustling of leaves above. Their presence brought a gentle rhythm to Olympia, a quiet chorus of anticipation, awe, and respect that intertwined with the steady flow of athletes, judges, and spectators. Every footfall, pause, and reflective glance added to the meditative heartbeat of the sacred valley, reminding everyone that the games were not only about competition, but also about journey, devotion, and the shared human spirit. Sacrifices were an essential part of the games, acts of devotion that connected mortals to the gods in quiet reverence. Imagine the soft crackle of flames as olive would burn slowly on a stone altar, the warm scent of smoke drifting upward and mingling with the earthy aroma of sun-baked soil and nearby olive groves. Priests moved with deliberate care, offering animals, grains, or incense, each motion measured and full of intention. Athletes, spectators, and pilgrims alike paused to witness these rituals, their footsteps slowing, their breaths becoming gentle and steady, as if the very air had softened around the sacred act. The smoke rose lazily, curling into the sunlight, carrying prayers and gratitude to Zeus and the other gods, a visual rhythm that mirrored the calm flow of the games themselves. Sacrifice was never hurried or loud. It was a quiet, meditative acknowledgement of devotion, honor, and human humility. In those moments, the sacred and the mortal seemed to meet, weaving a gentle, timeless rhythm that echoed through the olive groves and across the stadium, reminding everyone that the games were as much a spiritual journey as a celebration of physical skill. At the heart of the games was the spirit of fair play, a quiet but powerful force that guided every competition. Imagine athletes moving slowly, deliberately, honoring the rules, and respecting their opponents with calm focus. Even in the midst of fierce rivalry, there was an underlying rhythm of restraint, patience, and integrity. Judges observed closely, but their presence was gentle, a steadying force that allowed competitors to act with confidence and honesty. Spectators sensed this balance, watching quietly, feeling the unspoken harmony between effort and respect. Every throw, every race, and every match became more than a test of skill. It became a reflection of character, a meditation on honor, and a demonstration of the human capacity for dignity even in the pursuit of victory. The soft rustle of leaves in the olive trees, the warmth of the sun, and the gentle hush of the crowd all combined to create a calming rhythm. A reminder that true triumph was measured not only by success, but by fairness, respect, and the quiet integrity of each action. Between the competitions, the grounds of Olympia settled into a gentle, reflective calm. Imagine athletes stretching slowly under the warm sunlight, rolling their shoulders, flexing their limbs, and taking deliberate breaths to restore focus and energy. Spectators wandered quietly along shaded paths, the soft rustle of olive leaves above blending with distant murmurs and the faint chirping of birds. Pilgrims paused at cool springs, dipping their hands into the water and letting it trickle gently over their skin, savoring the softness and stillness. Even the earth itself seemed to breathe, the dust rising gently with each slow step, the sunlight shifting gradually across the grove and stadium. In these quiet pauses, the rhythm of the games slowed to a meditative flow. Each person, whether athlete, spectator, or pilgrim, became aware of their own heartbeat, the gentle sway of trees, and the sacred pulse of Olympia. The calm between events offered time to reflect, to rest, and to prepare, a slow and serene counterpoint to the energy of the competitions, reminding everyone present that stillness and motion exist together in perfect harmony. At Olympia, respect for one's opponent was as important as strength or skill. Imagine two wrestlers circling slowly on the warm, packed earth, each movement deliberate and careful, every step balanced with awareness of the other's presence. There was no rush, only a measured rhythm of anticipation and strategy, a quiet dance of patience and focus. The crowd watched in respectful silence, sensing the tension and the careful control that defined every hold, twist, and pivot. Even in moments of intensity, the athletes maintained calm composure, honoring the strength, effort, and courage of their adversaries. Every grip, every maneuver, was not just about victory, but about understanding, discipline, and shared humanity. The sun warmed the field, olive branches swayed gently above, and the soft earth beneath their feet seemed to absorb the quiet energy of the match. In this slow, deliberate rhythm, respect became a living, breathing part of the games, reminding everyone present that true honor lies in recognizing the worth of those we compete against, and in moving with grace, patience, and reverence. The sun bathed Olympia in a soft, golden warmth, wrapping athletes, spectators, and pilgrims alike in a gentle, calming glow. Imagine sunlight spilling over the stone seats of the stadium, glinting off the olive leaves, and warming the earth beneath every step. Athletes paused in its glow, feeling the heat seep slowly into their muscles, loosening tension and preparing their bodies for the next effort. Spectators shifted in the sun-warmed seats, breathing deeply, eyes tracing the long shadows stretching across the packed earth. Even the gentle dust that rose with each footstep seemed to catch the light, drifting lazily in the air like tiny golden sparks. The sun's presence set a steady, natural rhythm for the day, a slow heartbeat that connected every movement, every stride, and every breath to the wider world around them. Its warmth was not harsh or hurried, but calm and constant, grounding everyone in the timeless beauty of Olympia and lending a sense of serene continuity to the sacred games. Music filled the air of Olympia in a subtle, calming way, guiding the rhythm of preparation, ceremony, and reflection. Imagine the gentle tones of flutes, their notes drifting softly through the olive groves, blending with the distant murmur of the crowd and the rustling of leaves in the warm breeze. Small drums kept a steady, unobtrusive beat, echoing faintly across the sun-warmed earth, harmonizing with the quiet footsteps of athletes, judges, and pilgrims. The music was never loud or hurried. It flowed slowly, like a gentle river, encouraging focus, patience, and inner calm. Athletes aligned their movements with its rhythm, stretching, spinning, and practicing in soft harmony with the sound. Even spectators, walking along shaded paths or resting in the grove, felt a subtle sense of tranquility and connection. The music became a living thread in the fabric of Olympia, a quiet, meditative presence that intertwined with every breath, step, and gesture, reminding all who were there of the harmony between human effort, nature, and the sacred spirit of the games. Ceremonies framed every part of the games, adding a slow, deliberate rhythm that grounded both participants and spectators. Imagine priests and officials moving through the olive groves and along the packed earth, their robes swaying gently in the warm breeze, sandals brushing softly against stone and soil. Torches flickered lightly in the sun, incense drifted upward in lazy spirals, and the sunlight played across statues and columns, creating long, gentle shadows. Each movement in the ceremony was intentional, a quiet meditation of devotion and tradition. Athletes paused to participate, breathing deeply, aligning mind and body with the sacred rhythm of the festival. The crowd, too, moved slowly, watching with reverent attention, sensing the significance of each gesture, each step, and each soft sound. These ceremonies reminded everyone present that the games were more than contests of strength or speed. They were a celebration of shared humanity, honor, and the calm, enduring presence of the gods. In their deliberate flow, the rituals wove a gentle, continuous pulse through the valley of Olympia, a rhythm that echoed softly through every heart and footstep. Pilgrims often took quiet moments to reflect as they moved through Olympia, their pace slow and deliberate, their minds calm and attentive. Imagine the sunlight filtering gently through the leaves of ancient olive trees, casting dappled patterns on the warm earth beneath their feet. Streams trickled softly nearby, and the faint fragrance of herbs and grass mingled with the distant scent of incense. Travelers paused to rest, dipping their hands into cool water, letting it flow slowly across their skin, feeling the gentle rhythm of the natural world. Some closed their eyes and breathed deeply, letting the stillness of the sacred grounds wash over them, while others whispered prayers or contemplated the long journey that had brought them here. Each pause became a meditation, a moment of connection to the centuries of tradition, to the presence of the gods, and to the collective energy of the games. The rhythm of their reflections moved slowly, harmonizing with the subtle movements of athletes, judges, and spectators alike, creating a calm, shared heartbeat that filled the valley with serenity and reverence. The stadium at Olympia carried a quiet, meditative energy, even amidst the excitement of the games. Imagine long rows of stone seats bathed in soft sunlight, the air warm and still, carrying the faint scent of olive trees and sun-baked earth. Spectators shifted gently, their movements slow and unhurried, as their eyes followed athletes moving across the arena. Every step of the competitors was deliberate, every throw, jump, or stride measured with care, creating a subtle rhythm that seemed to pulse through the stadium. The gentle rustle of clothing, the soft murmurs of conversation, and the quiet footsteps of judges combined to form a serene background hum. Even during moments of competition, the atmosphere remained calm, reflective, and harmonious, as if the stadium itself were breathing slowly alongside everyone present. This sense of tranquility allowed athletes to focus fully, spectators to observe thoughtfully, and the sacred pulse of Olympia to flow steadily, reminding all who were there that the games were as much about inner balance and awareness as they were about skill and achievement. Stillness was a powerful and essential part of the games, offering moments of calm between movement, thought, and effort. Imagine athletes pausing to catch their breath, standing on the warm, sun-baked earth, muscles relaxed yet alert, feeling the slow rhythm of their hearts and the steady flow of their breath. Spectators and pilgrims moved quietly through shaded paths, their footsteps soft, as the olive trees above swayed gently in the warm breeze. Even the air itself seemed to hold its breath, carrying the faint scent of herbs, incense, and sun-warmed soil. In these moments of stillness, the world of Olympia slowed, allowing every observer and participant to notice the gentle pulse of the valley, the distant trickle of water, the soft rustle of leaves, and the quiet harmony of bodies resting between efforts. Stillness became a meditation, a reminder that patience, reflection, and awareness were just as important as movement and achievement. Each pause deepened focus, honored the sacred space, and strengthened the connection between body, mind, and the timeless rhythm of the games. Nature was a quiet companion to the games, weaving its gentle rhythm through every moment of Olympia. Imagine the soft sway of olive trees in the warm breeze, their leaves whispering faintly above the sunlit paths. Streams trickled slowly along the valley, their clear water glinting as it caught the sunlight, while birdsong floated softly through the air. Athletes, spectators, and pilgrims all moved in harmony with this serene environment, their footsteps blending into the gentle sounds of the land. Every glance, every pause, became an opportunity to notice the small wonders around them: the rough texture of stone, the delicate fragrance of wild herbs, or the way sunlight shimmered across a golden leaf. In these quiet observations, the sacred pulse of Olympia was felt most clearly, connecting all present to the land, to history, and to the timeless presence of the gods. Watching and listening to nature became a meditative act, a slow, reflective rhythm that accompanied every stride, throw, and breath, creating a deep sense of calm and reverence that lingered long after the moment had passed. A day at Olympia moved with a gentle, deliberate rhythm, each moment flowing seamlessly into the next. Imagine the soft glow of morning sunlight spreading across the valley, warming the earth and bathing the olive groves in gold. Athletes began with quiet preparation, stretching, breathing deeply, and moving slowly to awaken their muscles and minds. The rhythm of the day continued with races, throws, and matches, each competition unfolding at a measured pace, punctuated by moments of calm and reflection. Between events, spectators wandered through shaded paths, pilgrims paused to drink from cool springs, and the air carried the subtle hum of conversation, rustling leaves, and distant birdsong. Sunlight shifted gradually across the stadium, shadows lengthening and retreating in a natural cadence, mirroring the steady heartbeat of the games. This slow, flowing pattern of preparation, effort, pause, and reflection created a serene, almost meditative energy, reminding everyone present that the games were not only about athletic achievement, but also about harmony, presence, and the quiet, enduring rhythm of Olympia itself. As the sun began to descend behind the gentle hills, the first day of the games drew to a soft, peaceful close. Imagine long shadows stretching slowly across the warm, packed earth, the sunlight fading to a golden glow that kissed the olive groves and stone statues. Athletes rested deliberately, stretching their muscles with gentle care, breathing slowly to release the tension of competition, while spectators wandered quietly through shaded paths, murmuring softly or pausing to reflect. The warm air carried the faint scent of olive trees, incense, and sun-baked earth, blending into a calm, soothing atmosphere. Torches flickered in the cooling light, their flames dancing gently against stone, echoing the steady rhythm of the valley as it exhaled in quiet relief. The soft murmur of conversations, the gentle shuffle of footsteps, and the distant sound of flowing water created a lullaby of human and natural rhythm. In this serene moment, the sacred grounds of Olympia seemed to breathe, wrapping everyone in calm and reflection. The closing of the day reminded all present that the games were not only about competition, victory, or glory, but also about patience, presence, and the enduring harmony between human effort, nature, and the divine. As dusk settled, a quiet peace filled the valley, preparing bodies, minds, and hearts for the days to come. Each day of the games began with a gentle, deliberate opening ceremony, a quiet ritual that set the tone for all that would follow. Imagine the soft golden light of early morning spilling across the valley, warming the earth and shimmering on the olive leaves. Athletes moved slowly along the sacred paths, their muscles stretching, their breath deep and steady, while priests and judges took their places with calm, measured movements. Torches flickered softly, incense spiraled lazily into the clear morning air, and the faint hum of flutes drifted through the groves. The ceremony was not rushed nor loud, but deliberate and meditative, allowing every participant to settle into the rhythm of the day. Pilgrims paused along the way, absorbing the peaceful energy, feeling the pulse of tradition and the presence of the gods in every step and every breath. The opening ceremony was more than a formality. It was a moment of reflection, connection, and calm focus, a quiet heartbeat that carried through the valley and guided all who were present into the sacred flow of the games. As the day began, athletes moved through their morning training with a calm, deliberate rhythm. Imagine the sun rising higher, casting soft golden light across the olive groves and the warm, packed earth of the stadium. Muscles stretched slowly, arms swung in gentle arcs, and legs flexed with quiet precision. Trainers walked beside the athletes, observing carefully, offering quiet guidance, their voices soft and measured, blending with the gentle sounds of nature around them. Birds chirped lightly from the trees, a stream trickled in the distance, and a soft breeze carried the faint scent of wild herbs and sun-warmed earth. Each repetition, each motion, was deliberate, a meditation of body and mind, a careful preparation not only for strength and speed, but also for focus and awareness. The rhythm of morning training flowed like a gentle river, steady and calming, helping athletes center themselves while reminding spectators and pilgrims alike that the games were as much about presence and reflection as they were about competition. Every slow breath, every careful step, every quiet gesture harmonized with the sacred pulse of Olympia, setting the tone for the day ahead. The first races of the morning began with a quiet, deliberate energy, as athletes lined up with steady focus on the sun-warmed track. Imagine the soft dust rising gently beneath their feet, the golden sunlight stretching across the stadium, and the olive trees swaying softly in the warm breeze. Competitors adjusted their posture, breathing deeply and evenly, muscles coiling in readiness while the crowd held a calm, respectful hush. When the signal came, the runners surged forward in smooth, flowing motion, each step deliberate, each stride measured, echoing softly against the earth. The rhythm of their feet became a gentle heartbeat that carried through the stadium, harmonizing with the warm air and the faint rustle of leaves. Even in the excitement of the race, there was a serene quality, a slow, meditative awareness of movement, timing, and effort. Spectators watched quietly, sensing the unity of body and spirit, the connection to centuries of tradition, and the sacred pulse of Olympia itself, where every step and every breath seemed to honor both the athlete's skill and the gentle, enduring rhythm of the games. After the morning races, the stadium and surrounding grounds settled into a soft, reflective pause. Imagine athletes walking slowly along the sun-warmed track, breathing deeply, stretching their muscles, and letting the rhythm of their heartbeat slow. The dust that had risen during the races drifted lazily in the gentle breeze, catching the sunlight like tiny golden sparks. Spectators moved quietly through the shaded paths, some pausing beneath olive trees to rest or sip cool water from springs, while pilgrims lingered thoughtfully, absorbing the serene energy of the valley. The faint hum of flutes from distant ceremonies floated through the air, blending with the soft rustle of leaves and the distant murmur of flowing water. In this quiet interlude, time seemed to stretch, and every person present felt the gentle pulse of Olympia, the slow, meditative rhythm of body, breath, and spirit in harmony with the sacred grounds. This pause was not merely a break. It was a moment of reflection, of connection, and of calm anticipation, preparing everyone for the next events to unfold with patience, grace, and quiet focus. The discus event was a graceful test of strength, focus, and timing, moving with a calm, flowing rhythm. Imagine an athlete standing at the circle, the warm sun casting a soft glow on the packed earth beneath their feet. They hold the smooth, weighted discus carefully, feeling its balance and texture in their hands. Breathing slowly and deeply, they pivot with deliberate precision, muscles coiling like springs, preparing for the perfect throw. When the discus is released, it arcs gently through the golden sky, spinning slowly, tracing an elegant curve as it glides toward the soft landing area below. The spectators watch in quiet reverence, feeling the rhythm of motion and stillness, the smooth balance of effort and grace. Even the dust stirred by the throw drifts slowly, catching the sunlight and adding to the peaceful beauty of the moment. Each throw in the discus event is more than a competition. It is a meditation in motion, a flowing expression of strength, timing, and calm focus, connecting the athlete, the spectators, and the sacred valley of Olympia in a quiet, enduring rhythm. Wrestling at Olympia was a slow, deliberate dance of strength, strategy, and focus. Imagine two athletes circling each other on the sun-warmed earth, their bodies tense yet controlled, each movement carefully measured. Muscles flexed and released in quiet rhythm, each grip and pivot flowing naturally from the previous one. The spectators watched in hushed attention, sensing the careful balance between patience and power, and the respect shared between the competitors. Dust rose softly beneath their feet, drifting lazily in the warm breeze, as the athletes shifted weight, tested balance, and sought opportunity with steady focus. Even in moments of intensity, there was a calm, meditative quality, a rhythm of effort and awareness that seemed to echo through the olive groves and across the sacred valley. Wrestling was not only a contest of physical strength, it was a practice in concentration, harmony, and patience, reminding everyone present that every deliberate movement, every breath, and every pause carried both skill and quiet honor. The pancration combined wrestling and boxing, demanding both courage and calm control from its athletes. Imagine two competitors moving slowly and deliberately on the warm, sun-baked earth, circling each other with focused awareness. Every pivot, every step, and every movement was measured, each action flowing smoothly into the next, like a quiet, powerful dance. Dust rose softly beneath their feet, shimmering in the sunlight, while judges watched carefully, intervening only when necessary to maintain order and fairness. Spectators remained hushed, sensing the rhythm of effort and restraint, feeling the pulse of concentration and strategy that defined each moment. Even amidst the intensity of the event, there was a serene quality, a steady flow of energy, controlled and purposeful, where strength met patience and courage was guided by awareness. The Pancration became more than a contest. It was a meditation in motion, an expression of discipline, focus, and harmony, where every movement echoed the quiet, enduring heartbeat of Olympia and the timeless spirit of the games. The long jump was a graceful test of timing, strength, and calm focus, each leap moving like a slow, deliberate dance. Imagine an athlete standing at the starting line, the warm sunlight bathing the track, their feet pressing softly into the packed earth. Muscles tensed with measured anticipation as they began their approach, every step flowing smoothly, rhythmically, like a gentle river. At the moment of the jump, their body lifted into the air in a perfect, flowing arc, arms extended, legs poised, and every movement controlled with careful precision. Dust rose gently as they landed, scattering in tiny golden clouds that shimmered in the sunlight. The crowd watched quietly, sensing the serene rhythm of balance, effort, and grace in motion. Each jump was more than a competition. It was a meditation, a moment where the athlete, the audience, and the sacred valley of Olympia moved together in harmony, celebrating the quiet power of focus, the beauty of movement, and the gentle, enduring pulse of the games. The javelin event was a study in precision, timing, and calm focus, where strength and grace worked together. Imagine an athlete standing on the sun-warmed track, the javelin balanced lightly in their hand, the earth firm beneath their feet. They breathed deeply and evenly, feeling the tension in their muscles, the steady rhythm of their heart, and the gentle warmth of the sun on their skin. With slow, deliberate movement, they draw back and launch the javelin, watching it glide through the golden air in a smooth, sweeping arc. Dust rises gently where it lands, shimmering in the light like tiny sparks, and the crowd remains hushed, sensing the quiet rhythm of skill and intention. Each throw is more than a contest. It is a meditation, a flowing expression of focus, patience, and harmony with the natural world. The javelin cuts a graceful path through the air, connecting the athlete, the spectators, and the sacred grounds of Olympia in a shared calm rhythm, reminding everyone present of the beauty of deliberate action and the enduring spirit of the games. Between events, athletes took gentle, deliberate moments to rest, allowing their bodies and minds to recover. Imagine them sitting or stretching on the sun-warmed earth, muscles slowly unwinding, breathing deep and even, feeling the steady rhythm of their heartbeat. Some leaned against the smooth trunks of olive trees, the shade cooling their skin, while others sipped cool water from small, quiet springs nearby, letting it trickle softly across their hands and faces. Every movement was unhurried, every gesture calm, as they reflected on the efforts they had made and the focus required for what was yet to come. Even the spectators moved slowly during these pauses, walking along shaded paths, conversing in hushed tones, and absorbing the serene energy of the sacred grounds. In these resting moments, the pulse of Olympia seemed to slow and expand, creating a gentle, meditative rhythm that connected athletes, spectators, and pilgrims alike. It was a reminder that calm, quiet reflection and patient care of the body were as essential to the games as strength, skill, and competition. Throughout the day, the crowd moved slowly and deliberately through the stadium and surrounding grounds, their rhythm calm and reflective. Imagine spectators walking along shaded paths, the warm sun casting soft patterns through the leaves of the olive trees above. Children's footsteps were light on the earth. Elders paused to rest beneath the gentle sway of branches, and pilgrims whispered softly to one another, sharing quiet observations of the sacred valley. Even as the athletes prepared, stretched, or competed, the gentle murmur of the crowd blended seamlessly with the rustle of leaves, the distant trickle of water, and the occasional soft notes of flutes drifting from the ceremonial areas. Each movement, each pause, became part of the meditative rhythm of Olympia, echoing the deliberate, flowing cadence of the games themselves. In this harmony of motion and stillness, spectators were not merely observers, but participants in a shared, calming heartbeat, a serene, quiet presence that honored the sacredness, effort, and grace of every moment in the valley. As the day unfolded, each event at Olympia followed a deliberate, steady rhythm, like the heartbeat of the valley itself. Imagine athletes preparing with quiet focus, stretching their muscles, adjusting their breath, and centering their minds before stepping onto the warm, sun-baked earth. Races, throws, and jumps moved one after another, yet between them flowed gentle pauses, moments for reflection, quiet conversation, and observation. The soft rustle of leaves in the olive groves mingled with distant flutes and the occasional murmur of water, creating a soothing background hum that harmonized with the movements of both athletes and spectators. Each act of preparation and performance was measured, deliberate, and intentional, contributing to a calm, meditative pulse that filled the sacred grounds. This slow rhythm reminded everyone present that the games were more than competition. They were a shared experience of presence, focus, and harmony, where every breath, every step, and every heartbeat became part of a continuous, flowing meditation beneath the sun and the enduring gaze of the gods. The javelin throwers moved with quiet, deliberate grace, each action flowing smoothly into the next like a calm river. Imagine an athlete standing at the line, feeling the warm sun on their skin, the packed earth steady beneath their feet, and the smooth weight of the javelin balanced in their hand. They breathe slowly, aligning their body, their focus, and their spirit with the motion they are about to perform. With a controlled pivot and a careful step, the javelin lifts into the air, spinning gently as it arcs across the golden sunlight. Dust rises softly where it lands, shimmering briefly before settling back to the earth, and the crowd watches in quiet reverence, sensing the calm rhythm of effort and precision. Each throw is a meditation in motion, a connection between the athlete, the land, and the sacred energy of Olympia. In the flowing sequence of preparation, launch, and landing, there is beauty, patience, and harmony. A gentle reminder that the games celebrate not only strength and skill, but also grace, focus, and the enduring rhythm of the valley itself. Wrestlers at Olympia moved with quiet concentration, their bodies and minds aligned in steady, deliberate focus. Imagine two athletes circling each other on the sun-warmed earth, muscles coiled like springs, ready for motion but holding still for just the right moment. Every step, every pivot, and every grasp is slow and intentional, a measured dance of strategy and control. Dust drifts softly beneath their feet, catching the sunlight in tiny, shimmering clouds, while the soft rustle of robes and sandals blends with the distant hum of flutes and the gentle sway of olive leaves. The crowd watches in hushed attention, sensing the calm rhythm of strength guided by awareness, patience, and respect. Even as the wrestlers struggle for advantage, there is no rush, only a serene, meditative quality to their movements. Each hold, each shift, and each breath embodies discipline, harmony, and quiet honor, reminding everyone present that the games are as much about focus, respect, and patience as they are about strength and victory. The pancration was a blend of strength, skill, and calm precision, where each movement flowed seamlessly into the next. Imagine two athletes circling slowly on the sun-warmed arena, muscles tense yet controlled, eyes focused with steady awareness. Every shift, every pivot, and every grasp is deliberate, each motion part of a quiet, flowing rhythm that carries both power and patience. Dust rises gently beneath their feet, shimmering softly in the warm sunlight, while the murmurs of the spectators and the gentle rustle of olive leaves form a serene background melody. Even during moments of intensity, there is a meditative quality, a balance between effort and restraint, courage and reflection. The pancration becomes more than a contest. It is a dance of discipline, focus, and harmony, connecting the athletes, the crowd, and the sacred grounds of Olympia in a shared, calming pulse. Each movement echoes with intention and quiet energy, reminding everyone present that true strength is guided by control, awareness, and respect. The discus event was a quiet celebration of grace, strength, and focused precision. Imagine an athlete standing in the circle, the sun warming their skin and the packed earth firm beneath their feet. They hold the smooth, circular discus in their hand, feeling its weight and balance, and breathe slowly, aligning body and mind for the perfect motion. With a gentle pivot and a careful shift of weight, the discus lifts into the air, spinning in a perfect, deliberate arc. The sunlight glints off its surface as it travels, tracing a golden curve against the sky. Dust rises softly where it lands, settling slowly like a delicate veil over the arena. Spectators remain hushed, observing the calm rhythm of preparation, release, and flight. Every throw becomes a meditation, a moment where effort, focus, and harmony converge. In the gentle, flowing motion of the discus, the athlete, the audience, and the sacred valley of Olympia are united in a serene, quiet rhythm. A reminder that the games honor both physical skill and the beauty of calm, deliberate action. The long jump was a quiet, deliberate rhythm of preparation, focus, and flowing movement. Imagine an athlete standing at the edge of the track, feeling the warm sun on their skin and the soft, packed earth beneath their feet. Each step of their approach is measured, steady, and calm, as if moving in harmony with the heartbeat of the valley itself. Arms sway gently, muscles coil with quiet tension, and breath rises and falls in a slow, deliberate rhythm. When the jump begins, the body lifts gracefully into the air, tracing a smooth, flowing arc, legs and arms extended with quiet precision. Dust rises softly where the landing meets the earth, glinting faintly in the sunlight before settling back into stillness. Spectators watch in hushed admiration, sensing the serene beauty of motion, guided by patience and focus. Each jump is more than a competition. It is a meditation in motion, a quiet celebration of balance, control, and harmony, connecting the athlete, the crowd, and the sacred grounds of Olympia in a gentle, enduring rhythm. The runners at Olympia moved with quiet focus, each step a measured rhythm of effort, balance, and breath. Imagine athletes standing at the starting line, feeling the warmth of the sun on their skin, the firmness of the packed earth beneath their feet, and the steady beat of their own hearts guiding each motion. They inhale slowly, filling their lungs with calm energy, and exhale with deliberate control, centering their mind and body for the race ahead. When the signal comes, their bodies flow forward in smooth, powerful strides, feet gliding along the track, muscles working in quiet harmony, and arms swinging gently yet purposefully. Dust rises softly with each step, floating lazily in the warm sunlight, while spectators remain hushed, sensing the serene rhythm of determination and grace. Every race is more than a test of speed. It is a meditation, a flowing expression of focus, patience, and harmony. In the calm concentration of the runners, the audience and athletes alike are drawn into the slow, steady heartbeat of Olympia, experiencing the sacred rhythm of effort and presence that defines the games. As the sun began its slow descent behind the hills, Olympia was bathed in a gentle, golden light, softening every edge and calming every movement. Imagine long shadows stretching lazily across the packed earth, the warm sunlight glinting through olive leaves and casting shimmering patterns on stone and soil. Athletes slowed their pace, stretching and breathing deeply, muscles easing after a day of effort. Spectators wandered gently through shaded paths, the hum of quiet conversation mingling with the soft rustle of leaves overhead. The air was warm but mellow, carrying the faint scent of herbs, incense, and sun-baked earth. Even the dust on the ground seemed to settle slowly, returning the valley to stillness. This soft evening light wrapped Olympia in calm reflection, creating a serene pause between the intensity of the day and the tranquility of night. Every movement, every breath, and every glance felt slower, more intentional, as if the entire valley itself were taking a moment to exhale, ready to rest and restore before the next day of the games. As dusk settled over Olympia, the closing ceremony began with a calm, deliberate rhythm, marking the end of the day's sacred events. Imagine the sky painted in soft shades of gold, pink, and lavender, sunlight fading slowly behind distant hills while shadows lengthen across the olive groves and the warm, packed earth of the stadium. Athletes, judges, and priests moved with measured steps, their robes brushing lightly against the stone and soil, torches flickering gently in the cooling air. Incense drifted upward in delicate spirals, mingling with the faint scent of herbs and earth, and a soft hum of flutes echoed through the valley, adding to the serene atmosphere. Spectators and pilgrims paused to watch in reverent quiet, feeling the gentle rhythm of reflection and gratitude that enveloped the grounds. The closing ceremony was not hurried or loud. It was a meditative, unhurried acknowledgement of effort, honor, and connection to the gods, to the games, and to one another. In these final moments of light, Olympia itself seemed to exhale, wrapping everyone in calm, preparing bodies, minds, and hearts to rest, ready to awaken again with the next day's gentle rhythm and sacred pulse of the games. As night fell over Olympia, torches were lit along the paths and around the stadium, casting a warm, gentle glow that flickered softly against stone and earth. Imagine the tiny flames swaying with the cool evening breeze, their light reflecting off olive leaves and the smooth surfaces of statues, creating patterns that seemed to dance slowly across the sacred grounds. Pilgrims and spectators moved quietly, following the softly lit paths, their footsteps gentle on the packed earth, voices hushed in reverence. The athletes rested nearby, stretching and breathing slowly, letting the calm warmth of the torches soothe their tired muscles. The night air carried the faint scent of burning olive wood and herbs, mingling with the lingering warmth of the day. This soft, gentle light created a meditative rhythm, allowing everyone present to feel a deep connection to the sacred space, the history of the games, and the quiet pulse of Olympia itself. In the glow of the torches, the valley seemed to breathe calmly, inviting all to pause, reflect, and sink into the serene rhythm of night. At night, the olive trees of Olympia swayed gently in the cool evening breeze, their leaves whispering softly as if sharing secrets of centuries past. Imagine walking slowly beneath their branches, feeling the soft rustle above, smelling the faint, earthy aroma of leaves and sun-warmed bark, and listening to the calming rhythm of nature surrounding you. The quiet murmurs of the trees mingle with the distant flicker of torchlight, the soft murmur of pilgrims walking along shaded paths, and the gentle, rhythmic breathing of resting athletes. Each whisper of leaves becomes part of a serene, meditative chorus, echoing the timeless pulse of Olympia itself. In these hushed moments, every visitor, athlete, spectator, or pilgrim feels a profound connection to the valley, to the sacred traditions of the games, and to the calm, enduring rhythm of life in harmony with the gods and nature. Walking among the olive trees at night is a gentle reminder that the games are as much about reflection, presence, and tranquility as they are about strength, skill, and competition. As night deepened over Olympia, the pilgrims moved slowly along the winding paths, their voices soft and gentle, blending into the serene hum of the sacred valley. Imagine footsteps brushing lightly over the warm, packed earth, the faint rustle of robes mingling with the whisper of olive leaves in the cool evening breeze. Some pilgrims paused to drink from quiet springs, feeling the water trickle slowly over their hands, while others whispered prayers, their words floating softly into the night air. The flickering torchlight cast gentle shadows, guiding their calm, deliberate movements, and the faint scent of incense and olive wood drifted lazily through the grove. Every murmur, every step, and every breath contributed to the meditative rhythm of Olympia at night, a shared, peaceful presence that connected pilgrims, athletes, and spectators to the valley, the sacred games, and the timeless spirit of the gods. In these quiet moments, the world felt slower, softer, and more connected, a gentle lullaby of movement, reflection, and reverence beneath the stars. As night deepened, the sky above Olympia stretched wide and calm, dotted with countless stars that shimmered softly like tiny lanterns in the heavens. Imagine standing beneath this vast, peaceful sky, feeling the warm earth beneath your feet, the gentle rustle of olive leaves in the cool evening breeze, and the quiet rhythm of the valley all around. Pilgrims and spectators looked upward, their breaths slow and even, hearts calm as they traced constellations in the darkening sky, feeling connected to something far larger than themselves. The faint flicker of torchlight below blended harmoniously with the silver glow of the stars above, casting gentle shadows that shifted softly with each sway of the trees. In this tranquil night, every sound, every movement, and every breath seemed part of a meditative pattern, linking the sacred grounds of Olympia, the humans who walked there, and the vast, enduring cosmos above. The stars reminded everyone present of the timeless nature of the games, the quiet strength of presence, and the gentle, constant rhythm that flows through both the heavens and the earth. The night air in Olympia was soft, cool, and filled with a gentle stillness that wrapped around every visitor like a quiet embrace. Imagine walking slowly along the shaded paths, feeling the breeze lightly brush your skin, carrying the faint scent of olive trees, herbs, and sun-warmed earth. The air seemed to move in time with the valley itself, rising and falling in a gentle, meditative rhythm that calmed the mind and soothed the body. Athletes rested nearby, their breathing slow and steady, muscles relaxing after the efforts of the day. Pilgrims and spectators drifted quietly among the trees, the soft flicker of torchlight guiding their steps, each movement careful, unhurried, and serene. Even the distant rustle of leaves seemed deliberate, as if the valley itself were exhaling in gentle rhythm. In this calm night air, every sound, every breath, and every soft step became part of a peaceful, shared experience. A slow, steady heartbeat of Olympia that connected all who were present to the sacred games, to nature, and to the enduring presence of the gods. At night, Olympia was filled with soft, calming sounds that blended into a gentle, meditative symphony. Imagine the rustle of olive leaves as a warm breeze passes through the groves, the faint trickle of water from a distant spring, and the occasional whisper of a pilgrim's footsteps along the packed earth. Even the torch flames seemed to crackle softly, adding a subtle rhythm to the evening. Athletes rested quietly, their breathing slow and steady, while spectators lingered in hushed contemplation, moving with careful, deliberate motions. Every sound seemed to have a purpose, a gentle punctuation in the calm, unhurried flow of the night. The soft hum of life around the valley combined with the sacred silence of the grounds, creating a serene and reflective atmosphere. In these gentle sounds, every listener could feel connected to the rhythm of Olympia, the pulse of the games, and the timeless presence of the gods. Night in Olympia was not merely the absence of daylight, but a quiet, flowing meditation, wrapping the valley and all who were present in peaceful, soothing harmony. As the night deepened, pilgrims found quiet places to rest, letting the calm of Olympia settle over their bodies and minds. Imagine them sitting or reclining beneath olive trees, the soft glow of torches flickering across the warm earth, the cool breeze rustling gently through the leaves above. Some close their eyes, breathing slowly and evenly, letting their muscles relax and the tension of the day fade away. Others sit in reflective silence, watching the stars shimmer high above, tracing constellations in the vast, peaceful sky. The soft murmurs of conversation drift lazily through the grove, blending with the gentle trickle of water from nearby springs and the distant hum of nature settling for the night. Each pilgrim, in their stillness, feels a deep connection to the sacred grounds, to the athletes, and to the enduring rhythm of the games. The valley itself seems to exhale, wrapping everyone in a calm, restorative embrace, reminding all present that rest is as essential to the spirit of Olympia as effort, presence, and reflection. As the night deepened, the moon rose slowly above the hills, casting a soft, silver light over the valley of Olympia. Imagine its gentle glow spilling across the olive groves, the stadium, and the quiet paths, turning the warm earth into a calm, shimmering landscape. Shadows softened, blending into the gentle contours of the land, and the flickering torches below added tiny golden accents to the silver-tinged scenery. Pilgrims and spectators paused to watch, feeling the cool night air brush against their skin, their breaths slow and even, hearts calm as they observed the tranquil beauty around them. Athletes rested nearby, their muscles relaxed, minds stilling in harmony with the gentle light. Even the smallest sounds, the rustle of leaves, the trickle of distant water, the faint hum of a soft breeze, seemed magnified in the serene moonlit night. The moonlight lent a quiet majesty to Olympia, wrapping the valley in peaceful reflection, connecting all present to the sacred games, to nature, and to the timeless rhythm of life under the heavens. As the night deepened, the valley of Olympia sank into profound stillness, a calm so complete it seemed to wrap around every person, tree, and stone. Imagine walking slowly along the quiet paths, feeling the earth firm beneath your feet, while the soft breeze whispers through the olive groves, carrying the faint, earthy fragrance of leaves and herbs. Athletes rested, their breathing steady and slow, while pilgrims and spectators lingered in reflective silence, each movement gentle, unhurried, and deliberate. Even the distant flow of water and the flicker of torches seemed quieter now, harmonizing with the stillness of the night. In this serene pause, every heartbeat, every breath, and every subtle sound felt amplified, connecting all who were present to the sacred rhythm of Olympia and the timeless spirit of the games. The night valley held a gentle, restorative power, inviting contemplation, inner calm, and a deep sense of belonging within the quiet, enduring pulse of this sacred place. In the quiet of the night, Olympia seemed to speak softly of the centuries that had passed, a gentle whisper of history carried on the warm evening breeze. Imagine standing beneath the olive trees, feeling the cool earth beneath your feet, and sensing the countless footsteps that had traversed these paths long before. Each stone, each statue, each worn patch of ground holds the memory of athletes, priests, pilgrims, and spectators who came to honor the sacred games. Even the wind seems to murmur stories, brushing through the leaves with a soft, deliberate rhythm that echoes the timeless pulse of Olympia. The torches flicker faintly, casting delicate shadows that move slowly across the valley, while the stars above shimmer silently, witnessing the quiet flow of generations. In this hush of history, every person present, athlete, pilgrim, or spectator, feels a deep connection to the past, a sense of belonging in a tradition that spans centuries, and a profound calm, knowing that they are part of the enduring, meditative rhythm of the games. As the night deepened over Olympia, a sacred silence settled across the valley, enveloping everything in calm and stillness. Imagine walking slowly along the paths, the soft earth beneath your feet, the olive trees swaying gently in the cool night breeze, their leaves whispering the quiet stories of the day. Athletes rested, breathing evenly, muscles relaxed after the efforts of the games, while pilgrims and spectators lingered in quiet reflection, their movements slow and deliberate. Even the distant trickle of water and the flicker of torchlight seemed softened, hushed in reverent harmony with the night. This sacred silence carried a gentle, restorative energy, a rhythm that encouraged contemplation and mindfulness. Every sound, every breath, every heartbeat seemed amplified in its tranquility, connecting all present to the enduring pulse of Olympia, the timeless spirit of the games, and the quiet, watchful presence of the gods. In this serene stillness, the valley itself seemed to pause, inviting everyone to sink into calm, reflection, and the gentle embrace of night. As night deepened, a gentle breeze drifted through the valley of Olympia, brushing softly against skin and robes, carrying the faint, calming scents of olive trees, herbs, and earth. Imagine walking slowly along the shaded paths, feeling the cool touch of the air on your face, the subtle movement of leaves above, and the steady, quiet rhythm of the night all around you. Athletes rested nearby, their breathing slow and even, muscles relaxed and supple from the day's exertions. Pilgrims and spectators paused, letting the soft wind flow around them, bringing with it a soothing sense of peace and reflection. Even the flickering torches seemed to sway in harmony with the breeze, casting gentle, moving shadows across the warm earth. In this cool, tranquil air, every breath becomes a moment of calm, every step a meditation, and every quiet sound a reminder of the timeless rhythm of Olympia. The valley itself seems to exhale with the wind, inviting all present to sink into serenity, rest, and gentle awareness of the sacred night. As the night deepened, the flickering torches of Olympia cast a gentle, dancing light across the valley, illuminating stone paths, olive trees, and resting pilgrims in soft golden hues. Imagine the flames swaying slowly in the night breeze, creating moving shadows that stretch and blend with the darkened shapes of the landscape. Athletes relaxed nearby, their bodies still and muscles resting, while spectators moved quietly along the torchlit paths, their steps deliberate and unhurried. The faint crackle of the flames mixes with the soft rustle of leaves, the distant trickle of water, and the hushed murmurs of those walking through the grove, forming a gentle, meditative rhythm. Each flicker seems to breathe life into the valley, a calm pulse that guides the night and comforts those who remain awake. In the glow of the torchlight, every person feels a sense of connection to the sacred grounds, to the enduring games, and to the slow, harmonious rhythm of Olympia itself. The flickering light becomes a lullaby, gentle and steady, inviting calm, reflection, and the restful presence of night. In the quiet of the night, the soft murmur of water flowed gently through Olympia, from distant springs, small streams, and quiet fountains. Imagine walking slowly along a path, hearing the delicate ripple of water as it moves over stones, mingling with the faint rustle of olive leaves and the whisper of the evening breeze. The sound is steady, soothing, and rhythmic, almost like a soft lullaby for the valley, echoing through the sacred grounds and weaving into the calm rhythm of the night. Athletes rested nearby, breathing evenly, muscles relaxed and soft, while pilgrims paused to listen, feeling the gentle flow of the water harmonize with their own calm heartbeat. Every trickle, every ripple, and every splash seems deliberate, part of a meditative melody that carries the sense of peace and timelessness across Olympia. In the presence of this soft murmur, all who remain awake are reminded of the enduring pulse of the games, the sacred valley, and the slow, harmonious rhythm of life, inviting rest, reflection, and serenity under the quiet night sky. High above Olympia, the stars shimmered softly in the dark night sky, their light calm, steady, and gentle, like silent guardians watching over the valley. Imagine standing beneath this vast, peaceful canopy, feeling the cool night air on your skin and the earth solid beneath your feet, while the distant flicker of torches and the soft rustle of olive leaves blend into a serene, meditative rhythm. Pilgrims and spectators lifted their eyes slowly, tracing constellations and feeling the quiet presence of the heavens above. Even athletes resting nearby seemed to sense the gentle constancy of the stars, their breathing slow and even, bodies and minds settling into the peaceful night. Each star appears to pulse softly, a quiet reminder of the enduring passage of time, the timeless spirit of the games, and the calm rhythm of life in harmony with nature and the sacred valley. Under this gentle watch, all who are present feel connected to the land, to the history, and to the serene, meditative heartbeat of Olympia itself. In the stillness of Olympia at night, every breath and movement invites quiet reflection. Imagine sitting beneath the olive trees, feeling the soft earth beneath your hands, the gentle sway of leaves above, and the cool night air brushing your skin. Pilgrims, spectators, and resting athletes alike find themselves immersed in thought, reflecting on the day's events, the effort of the athletes, and the sacred presence of the valley. The soft murmur of water, the flicker of torchlight, and the distant rustle of leaves blend together, creating a meditative soundtrack for contemplation. In these moments, the mind and body slow, harmonizing with the rhythm of Olympia itself. Each heartbeat, each exhale, feels like part of a shared, enduring pulse, connecting everyone to the history of the games, the serene presence of nature, and the calm, timeless energy of the night. The quiet reflections of night are gentle and restorative, a soft embrace for all who linger, inviting deep peace, calm awareness, and a sense of belonging beneath the stars. As night deepened, the entire valley of Olympia seemed to take a slow, restful breath, a calm exhalation that settled over the stadium, the groves, and every person within its sacred bounds. Imagine the warm earth beneath your feet, the gentle sway of olive branches above, and the cool night air moving softly through the valley. Athletes rested, their bodies softened, muscles relaxed from the day's exertions, while pilgrims and spectators lingered quietly, breathing slowly in unison with the gentle rhythm of the night. Even the faint trickle of distant water and the soft flicker of torchlight seemed to mirror this steady, restorative pulse. Each inhalation and exhalation of those present blended with the heartbeat of Olympia itself, creating a slow, meditative harmony that stretched across time and space. The valley, in its restful breath, reminded all who were there of the enduring spirit of the games, the calm presence of the gods, and the serene, gentle rhythm that connects body, mind, and the sacred land beneath the stars. As the night deepened over Olympia, a gentle lullaby seemed to arise from the valley itself, soft, unhurried, and soothing to all who were present. Imagine the quiet rustle of olive leaves, the soft murmur of water from distant springs, and the subtle flicker of torchlight blending together into a peaceful melody. Athletes rested fully, their breathing slow and even, muscles unwinding, minds settling into calm awareness. Pilgrims and spectators drifted slowly along shaded paths, each step deliberate, each movement relaxed and unhurried. Even the breeze seemed to move in rhythm with the valley's quiet song, carrying the scents of herbs, earth, and olive trees. This lullaby was not a tune of music alone, but a rhythm of presence, reflection, and harmony, the soft, enduring heartbeat of Olympia itself. In its gentle embrace, all who remained awake could feel their minds quiet, their hearts settle, and their bodies align with the calm, timeless pulse of the sacred games, preparing to rest fully beneath the starlit sky. As the night grew deeper, the valley of Olympia drifted into a soft, peaceful sleep, wrapping every tree, stone, and person in calm stillness. Imagine the olive trees standing quietly under the gentle glow of moonlight, their leaves barely moving in the cool night air. Athletes rested fully, bodies and minds settling after the exertions of the day, while pilgrims and spectators lay quietly, their breathing slow and even, hearts steady in the tranquil darkness. Even the distant trickle of water and the flicker of torches seemed to soften, blending seamlessly into the quiet rhythm of the sleeping valley. Each sound, each breath, and each gentle movement became part of a meditative pattern, a slow, steady pulse that stretched across the sacred grounds. The valley sleeps, but its spirit endures, a serene, timeless presence that carries the calm, reflective energy of the games through the night, cradling all who rest within its gentle embrace. Even as the valley of Olympia slept, there was a quiet promise in the night, the gentle certainty that dawn would return, bringing light, warmth, and the soft rhythm of a new day. Imagine the horizon just beginning to lighten, the first faint hues of gold and pink brushing the sky, while the olive trees stand silent and still, bathed in the soft pre-dawn glow. Athletes, pilgrims, and spectators rest peacefully, wrapped in calm dreams, their breathing slow and steady, minds and bodies fully restored. The sacred grounds themselves seem to inhale, preparing to awaken with the gentle energy of morning, ready to carry the pulse of the games once more. Every star in the night sky fades slowly as sunlight stretches across the valley, and the cool night air gives way to the warmth of day. In this quiet transition, all who slept are connected to the enduring spirit of Olympia, to the timeless traditions of the games, and to the gentle, patient rhythm of life itself. Dawn will return, bringing a new day, and with it, the same serene, flowing harmony that has cradled the valley for centuries.